It has been a pleasure to be at Morningside, but our elementary years are over. Even though we are finishing elementary school, I want everyone to remember that the story has just begun.
My first impressions on Chris was I didn't think of anything special about him, to be honest. I found out that I was really wrong after a while.
If I'm being honest, he didn't really stand out until I got to know him more. I can see that he cares about people. He sort of tries to learn about, envision a world with less human harm, less human suffering.
It was probably when Chris convinced the entire classroom that Scar from Lion King was synonymous with political leaders that we may not typically celebrate, and it was fun to see him drive an entire audience to absolutely despise a fictitious character.
I tell you, he did grow out of his shell, and I did find him to have a great sense of humor at the end. I don't think he started that way. As he's grown up a little bit, he's developed that for sure. I know he runs. I know he's, I think he ran a marathon. I think he runs on the track team. I see him out there running around all the time, you know. So I think that's cool. He takes care of himself, and he's a healthy mind and body, you know.
One of the first times that he really stood out, he had like a book on feminist theory, which is not typically something that you see young men just kind of carting around. When I say he's an intellectual, I don't just mean he's smart. A lot of our students are really smart, really gifted, but he just really likes the mental challenge of intellectual pursuits and ideas.
I think he's got a great future ahead of him. I really do.
And I hope he's killing it this year, and I'm excited to see what he does after high school.
Es callado, pero es muy divertido. Christopher siempre ha sido como el divertido de la familia. Siempre ha sido muy hiperactivo, muy travieso, le gusta andar aquí, no se puede estar quieto.
Cuando era niño era muy gracioso, muy juguetón, pero tímido a la vez. Fuera de la casa no le gustaba sentirse solo. Estando aquí en la casa era muy divertido.
He was always the smart one. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I'm also smart. But Chris was always kind of the smarter one, where I was like in the 3rd grade and he was in 1st grade, and he was helping me with my homework because my dad and my mom couldn't help me out because there was a language barrier. So I would go to him and be like, can you help me out here? And he'd always be open to it.
My dream career, probably to be a labor lawyer. My dream school is probably Yale. So it's more than just like the academic prestige it has. It's also about the connections that you can make there. Presidents have gone there. I can meet the future president of the United States. I can become the future president if I go there.
And there were points where I questioned whether I wanted to keep going in life, and there were moments where I had to like look at my life and just kind of be like, is it worth it to continue? The number one thing that always kept me going was him, where I would think like, okay, if I were to go, what about Chris? Like, would I be this heavy burden? So Chris is a lifesaver.
Muy orgulloso de que se vaya, de que logre sus sueños, lo que él quiera, a donde quiera ir, yo lo apoyo. Es por su bien, es su sueño. Tiene que ir a conseguirlo, tiene que ir tras él. Sí. Yo sé que lo va a lograr.
Sí, me da tristeza que él se vaya a ir, pero sé que lo va a hacer por su futuro.
I do hope he's able to go out and go to DC or go to LA or go to San Francisco or do whatever he wants. It'll be sad, but I'll be super proud of him.